What is the #1 ingredient in most chocolate bars? I'll give you a hint. It is not cacao.
AKA it's not actually chocolate, okay? And so again, this is this curiosity gap where most people would just assume that. But now what we're doing is we have positioned ourselves as an authority, and we've positioned ourselves in a way to kind of fill in some of this information, right? Because we know something that the customer doesn't. Now, this is definitely going after more of, I would say, an unaware audience. With that said, some people potentially are aware of this. And again, they might already know this. And even though this is going after someone who doesn't know that or doesn't read labels that well, this could still resonate with someone who does, because they'll be like, oh, I know that it's sugar. And then they just want to continue to watch and see the rest of the ad to see what this, girl has to say. So again, let me go ahead and unmute this, and we're going to play the next couple of seconds here.
This is a cacao pod. This is where chocolate comes from.
Cool. So again, she's talking about how, just doing some standard education here, right? She says, okay, you know what? This is a cacao pod. This is where chocolate comes from. Now, I want to clarify here that she doesn't cut to the point and say the #1 ingredient is actually sugar, right? She doesn't close the loop as soon as she opens it, right? So in the first beginning, she opens the hook of like, I'll give you a hint. It's not cacao. It's not chocolate. And then she doesn't go into the next scene and say it's actually sugar. She keeps that loop open. And so what she does is she says, this is a cacao pod. This is where chocolate comes from. So now she's providing some more information. She's providing more context. So let's keep watching.
This fruit started off as medicine.
So now here's a super interesting thing here that a lot of people need to understand how this creator or how they scripted this ad to be super effective. Because at this point in the video, we're about 7 seconds in or 8 seconds in, I might start to get bored if she just continues to educate and educate. But what does she do? She says, this is a cacao pod. This is where chocolate comes from. And then she says, this actually used to be used as medicine. And so now you're like, hold on a second. All of my beliefs about chocolate are kind of being like turned upside down here, because how the hell is chocolate medicine, right? And she says that very clearly, right? Again, almost like another juxtaposition where it's like chocolate and medicine don't really go together. So how do those two things work? Well, she opens up another loop. And remember, not only did she open a loop saying like, what's the #1 ingredient in most chocolate bars, she's now opened a second loop that says that chocolate was actually originally used as medicine. So now if we were thinking about dropping off, or we were kind of getting unengaged, we're now hooked back in. And this is so important to make sure that you are re-hooking your audience with your ads, because so many of you guys think that just because you hook them in the first 3 seconds that you don't need to hook them again, but that couldn't be more far from the truth. So you really need to focus on re-hooking and essentially keeping your audience engaged with this specific strategy of creating sometimes more open loops, but also just maintaining some kind of curiosity throughout the rest of the video.
It's medicine, and it's one of the most powerful plants that ancient cultures had access to.
Perfect. So now what I love about this is she's now introduced another type of authority. Again, she's already positioned herself as an authority because she knows something that you don't. But on top of that, she then leverages a specific authority from somebody else, okay? And so that authority that she's leveraged from somebody else is these ancient tribes, these ancient, cultures that used to use this as medicine, okay? And so now she's not just saying like, oh, this is a medicine because I say so, or this is a medicine because of, doctors say it, because that might not be as believable. But when she goes back and says like ancient cultures used to use this as medicine, now all of a sudden we're like, oh, there's another authority piece there. And that's important because it is so crucial for you guys to understand that authority in videos is what gets people to buy, not just in general, but from you specifically. Because if they feel like they can trust you, they will buy, right? Nobody will buy anything. And this is, Breakthrough Advertising 101. Shout out to Eugene. You cannot, no matter how strong the desire is, if the person doesn't believe that you can fulfill it, they are just not going to buy. So right now we're building belief, we're educating, but we're also keeping it interesting, and we're using an outside authority and bringing that in to our specific product category or to our product or one of the ingredients in our product in order to actually build trust and again, build authority.